And joining us on debate number 2 this evening, consulting editor, strategic affairs, Maroof Raza is with us. Sushant Sareen, senior fellow at the Vivekananda International Foundation, both of them with us from Delhi, as is former secretary of the MEA, Singh. Across the border, we have Barrister Saeed, a former diplomat. He's with us from Islamabad. Hassan Khan, group editor, Khyber TV, with us from Islamabad. And live from Lahore, we have political and security analyst, Colonel Farrukh Cheema. Thank you all, gentlemen, for joining us this evening. Now, Barrister Saeed, let me start with you, because it does seem that Pakistan would have reason to worry. We all saw what happened with the SAARC summit that was to have taken place in Islamabad. There was a royal snub from virtually all members of the region. India has managed to isolate Pakistan diplomatically, and now there is a very clear indication that India could also be thinking of SAARC without Pak, or perhaps going in the direction of BBIM, BIMSTEC, which means Pakistan would no longer play a role in regional cooperation.
Well, let me tell you this, that SAARC without Pakistan is totally meaningless as an organization. SAARC was fathered by Bangladesh in order to ensure that India would not make this area into its sphere of influence. And it was counterbalanced by Pakistan.
SAARC originated, with the purpose of regional cooperation. The whole issue here tonight is this. When has Pakistan cooperated? Pakistan has only put roadblocks in any initiative that has been taken.
I cannot hear you.
So where has Pakistan followed the purpose? Has Pakistan ever, in fact, followed the purpose of SAARC?
Please let me finish. Please let me finish. If Pakistan is out of SAARC, it becomes a sphere of influence of India. And it is like the Monroe Doctrine. And these states will no longer be sovereign. So, the presence of Pakistan
talking about influence.
Makes
Maroof Raza, he's talking of influence, Maroof, and yet Pakistan has in fact even prompted by China, of course, proposed the possibility of China being included.
It's India all the way.
How does China figure in South Asia, sir?
Tina, if Barrister Saab, Tina, let me, now that the barrister has made his opening remarks, let me give you 4 or 5 bullet points. The first is that even, yes, Barrister Saab, please. Even with Pakistanis blocking virtually every initiative for bilateral cooperation, it is interesting to note that in SAARC, India is the largest trading partner of Sri Lanka, India is the largest trading partner of Bhutan, India is the largest trading partner of Nepal, and the second largest importing partner of Bangladesh. So even by the obstacles that Pakistan has placed, India has gone ahead with bilateral trade and cooperation with all these countries. The second point I wish to counter the Ambassador and Barrister Saeed's point is that Pakistan has been cooperating, as far as my memory serves, at least for 2 decades. Pakistan has done everything to stymie every initiative. Even as late as the Nepal summit, Pakistan was trying to bring in China also to become part of SAARC, when SAARC in itself was not being able to move forward because China and Pakistan were collectively blocking every initiative on the part of India to improve bilateral ties with Pakistan. Pakistan is now so heavily dependent on China, and the hope that the China-Pakistan economic corridor is going to revive its economy, that I am personally quite happy that if Pakistan and China start trading and let the rest of the SAARC get on with their business of improving bilateral ties and trade. This was an idea that was initially floated by our Indian Prime Minister, Mr. I.K. Gujral, of triangles of growth. This has now found a great degree of momentum with the BBIN, that is Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal initiative, and now the BIMSTEC. I'm surprised that it's taken India 20 years to take this position, that we can do bilateral engagement and cooperative engagement in the region without Pakistan. It is really Pakistan has to ask itself that why does it have such low trade figures with India when India's trade with everybody else in the neighborhood has jumped 10 to 20 times in the last 10 to 15 years?
Yes.
And also Pakistan has blocked every initiative, whether it's road transport, whether it's railways, whether it is MFN status to India, whether it's bilateral treaties. All that Pakistan wants is to keep bringing up the Kashmir issue, when the Charter of SAARC says very clearly that bilateral issues will not be discussed in SAARC. So why is it blocking SAARC? If it wants to raise the Kashmir issue, then it should engage with India on Kashmir and accept the Indian narrative that you stop terrorism, we move forward on Kashmir. And there have been 2-3 instances in the past when Pakistan's leaders have agreed to stop terrorism, and there were dramatic improvements in bilateral trade and bilateral relations. Today, Pakistan is back to square one. And Pakistan is staring at regional isolation, and it has no hope. And I personally am not optimistic at all that Pakistan will turn the corner and actually become a cooperative member of SAARC instead of being the baggage that it is on SAARC.
Maroof, like you said, Pakistan has not brought much to SAARC. And my question is to Hassan Khan, who's joining us from Islamabad this evening, and KC Singh can respond to him. KC Singh and Hassan Khan, the point that Maroof was making, and he said it clearly, Pakistan has brought very little to SAARC, and we have proof of that, right? What did the Foreign Secretary say, Hassan Khan? As a journalist, you'll be able to substantiate some of the facts that I'll put out now. He said you can't be a member of a region and block every possible regional initiative and still say that I am a good member of the region, which is Pakistan's stand. Reason 1, you've been the biggest roadblock to regional trade. Reason 2, biggest roadblock to strengthening connectivity. Reason 3, biggest roadblock to countering terror. Reason 4, biggest roadblock to stability. And I want to start off with trade, and KC Singh will respond to you. Let's talk about trade, Hassan Khan. And you know what's been happening in the recent past, right? As far as trade is concerned, September this year, Hassan Khan, is it true or not that Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani wanted India to be made a party to its transit trade pact with Kabul, and it was Islamabad which single-handedly rejected that demand? Hassan Khan, we'll start with trade. Are you getting my audio, sir?
I think this is, if you want to look into the composition of SAARC, I think this is a very weird idea of the Indian leadership that they are talking about. They are talking about a regional cooperation body without Pakistan. Pakistan is a country of 200 million people. So I think how can you exclude the 200 million people from a regional body? So I think the way
there is no cooperation,
the Indian leadership, the current Indian
said it's a
leadership
regional
are going,
cooperation body, right? 1 second. You said it's a regional cooperation body, and that is the bottom line function of SAARC. Now, if there is no cooperation, and my colleague here has just asked you a very specific question with relation to that, and we'll break it down into various issues. But if the feeling is that there has not been, if the feeling is that there has not been cooperation, in fact, there have been roadblocks and hindrances that have been put by the country, then what purpose is that country serving for that particular regional group?
I think this is. I think we shall not make hostage the 1300 almost 1.5 billion population of the region to the whims and desires of few people, or dozens, or scores of people. I think we should look into the peace in the region. We must extend the peace constituencies instead of being jingoistic, instead of
But Hassan Khan, I asked you about trade.
No doubt.
Hassan Khan, you want to talk about trade? You're a journalist, so you want to talk about trade? You want to talk about trade? I asked you about trade, strengthening connectivity. I asked you about countering terror, and I asked you about stability. But my specific point to you was about trade and how you have blocked trade vis-a-vis SAARC nations. KC Singh, let KC Singh speak and you can respond to him. KC Singh, in your experience as a former secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs, would you agree with the point put forth today by another foreign secretary who feels that it is time to look at an alternative minus Pakistan?
I think this is nothing new. That's how sub-regional contexts were created. May I just finish?
Yeah, KC Singh, go
you
ahead.
see, sub-regional connections. Firstly, let's remember that when SAARC was created in early 1980s, the expectation was that this will facilitate better understanding between Pakistan and India. India was not having a problem with any other country in the neighborhood. And that, like the experience in Europe or in other countries, you go from smaller cooperation to larger cooperation, and then you overcome your differences. And that is why at the SAARC summits, you don't discuss bilateral political issues. Idea was you put them aside and you move ahead on commerce, on trade, on connectivity, on health, on various things, wherever you can cooperate, use of water resources. You go on expanding it till the links are well established. But from the beginning, if the Pakistani approach is to play, be a spoiler in it and not agree to anything, then till about 6 or 7 years ago, it worked well that we could isolate Pakistan because Afghanistan was not a member of SAARC. So Pakistan was one extreme to our west, and we could have the rest of the members. The other 6 members could work together. But now if Afghanistan is there, then Pakistan becomes critical for connectivity. But that doesn't matter. Then you work without Afghanistan.
And even
so
on
it doesn't
that
remain SAARC.
Yeah, and it's...
No, let me just finish.
But
then
that's the point, sir.
It doesn't remain SAARC.
The biggest roadblock to strengthening connectivity has also been Pakistan. And I want to bring Sushant, Sareen in on this, and we'll go across to our Pakistani guests on that also. So, Sushant, Sareen, the point that Niranjan was making earlier, and I just want to add a little bit to that. Now, exactly. Yeah, coming to you, Barrister Zahid, coming to you. Sushant, Sareen, you talk about trade, and Niranjan made the point about Pakistan refusing to make India part of the transit trade with Kabul. And there's other things, Isn't it true that Pakistan rejected Afghan calls to deal and trade with India directly by a direct thoroughway via Wagah? Pakistan rejected fresh calls by Afghanistan to allow direct trade with India through its land routes. We are talking about Pakistan being the single biggest roadblock to strengthening connectivity also in the region. So if connectivity, trade, the basic premises of SAARC are not being cooperated with by Pakistan, then what purpose are they serving in SAARC?
Well, I think that is precisely the question which is now being asked after almost a quarter of a century of SAARC coming into existence, that the promise of SAARC has simply not delivered. And the reason for that is the kind of bloody-mindedness which we have been seeing from the Pakistani side, at least in the context of Afghanistan, and providing Afghanistan, which desperately needs connectivity to India and beyond. They're just not giving it to them because they want to actually reduce Afghanistan into a sort of a colony of theirs. My own take on SAARC is that, look, any regional grouping is worth nothing to nobody until and unless it is...
Please tell me what...
Can I finish, sir? Can I finish before you start getting hysterical?
Barrister Saeed, let Sushant Sareen
I'll
make
tell
his
you
point.
what, if you let me finish, I'll tell you. If you keep yelling, I can't talk to you. So if you this is not a Pakistani court where you can keep shouting your lungs out. This is a television channel, and let's have a civilized debate. So my point is that
let him make his point.
The connectivity issues is going to be extremely...
all our
so he's going hysterical. I don't know who made him a barrister.
We are ready.
Barrister Saeed, what are you talking about, sir? Just let him make his point. Let him make his point. Barrister Saeed, you'll get your turn. You'll get your chance, sir. Let Sushant Sareen make his point.
Go to Brazil.
So 1 second, he spoke about connectivity. 1 second, hold on.
Any regional cooperation must have a security dimension to it, and it must have an economic dimension to it. You'll have to shut this guy up. There's no point talking otherwise.
Barrister Saeed, let me also bring in Colonel Farrukh Cheema. Let me bring in Colonel Farrukh Cheema. 1 second. Barrister Saeed, I think you're having trouble getting the audio from the studio. Let me get in Colonel Farrukh Cheema. Colonel Farrukh Cheema, what did Barrister Saeed start off saying? He started off saying that a country of 200 million...
point I was making.
Yeah, okay, Sushant, you complete your point and let Colonel Farrukh Cheema respond to you. Make your point, Sushant.
Yeah, so my limited point is that a regional cooperation organization must have both security and economic cooperation, and because you cannot have a seamless economic cooperation in which connectivity is an essential part unless there is some kind of security trust between all the countries of the region, and clearly it is not going to happen with Pakistan. So even if Pakistan was to agree to some of the protocols that are currently under discussion and that have been passed by a certain section of the South South Asian community except for Pakistan. Even if those protocols were to come about tomorrow, I don't see how they can actually work on the ground given the enormous trust deficit between India and Pakistan. It's just not going to happen. So frankly speaking, if SAARC has to live, if SAARC has to thrive, if SAARC has to live up to its promise, you have to cut off your losses and actually, you know, profit from the relationships which have more positivity rather than only negativity which comes from Pakistan. The Afghanistan
Sushant,
question which Ambassador KC Singh raises has to be dealt with, but perhaps you can restructure SAARC, bring in a country like Iran and have some kind of a connectivity through Iran. It's a little far-fetched as of now, but that could be one way that Afghanistan can be connected with the rest of the region.
Yeah, I want to make the point to Colonel Farrukh Cheema. Colonel Farrukh Cheema, like I was saying. Yeah, one second. Please hear my question, sir. You can answer my question and you can respond to the other Indian panelists as well. My question to you was when Barrister Saeed started off, you know, when at the beginning of the debate, he said 200 million people, you can't really ignore us. And, you know, Hassan Khan, who's sitting in Islamabad, a journalist said, we are for stability, you can't really ignore us, other countries will be against it. Just want to put one fact on record. Today, we've had responses from Bangladesh. Bangladesh on record saying that they are open to a discussion on an alternative body, accepting that Pakistan has been an impediment. As far as your larger question, Colonel Farrukh Cheema, of the support that you're getting or the lack of it in South Asia, Sri Lanka, post-Uri attack, Sri Lanka, following India saying that there can be no summit if Pakistan continues to support terror. Bhutan backed India. No, I'm just putting the facts out there. Bhutan backed India. Bangladesh calls Pakistan out for terrorism. Afghanistan sees Pakistan as a nation which finances terror attacks. Nepal, in the context of SAARC, the SAARC chair Bhutan said they urge member states, implying you, to not use your territory for terror. Maldives, even a country like the Maldives followed India in deciding not to attend SAARC. So if you're talking about stability and the sort of support you have, sir, let's be real, you don't have support, and BIMSTEC was an exhibition for you to realize where you will be on the world stage. Colonel Farrukh Cheema.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you, first of all, this entire SAARC was dependent on cooperation. And so far cooperation is concerned, I think there was no better cooperation than offered by Pakistan.
Sir, you've been the biggest roadblock to SAARC.
Today, we are told.
Colonel Farrukh Cheema, you've been the biggest roadblock. You've been the biggest roadblock to SAARC.
Because of this bleeding. We have been bleeding for 12 years by you.
What are you talking about, Colonel Farrukh Cheema?
The circumstances, the cooperation. The cooperation is that you make the things, let it happen.
One second, Colonel Farrukh Cheema, please don't divert.
Let the people move.
No, one sec. You have a relevant point to make.
Now, in that case, just tell me.
No, you have a relevant point to make about Pakistan's role. You have a relevant point to make about Pakistan's role in SAARC. On how you've hindered connectivity, trade.
I simply say that without Pakistan, there is no SAARC.
It's possible, sir. It's possible, and we have the support of all countries.
You will be stuck. Let me tell you, you will be stuck to the eastern.
So let's get real. Let's get real. Colonel Farrukh Cheema, let's get real.
Bigger giants.
No, let's get real.
Let's get real. Let me tell you, it is in your interest that you don't leave Pakistan. You cooperate with Pakistan.
But Colonel
please, I'm telling you that it is in India's interest.
Colonel Cheema, why don't you substantiate what you're saying? Okay. Colonel Cheema, listen to me. Be calm and listen to me. Why don't, Maroof coming to you, but let me just get him to actually substantiate what he's saying. When you say that Pakistan has been the most cooperative in SAARC, can you give us the top 3 examples as to when Pakistan has actually been the country that has facilitated connectivity, has facilitated trade, has facilitated anything that was the objective of SAARC? That's number 1. Secondly, when you say, how can you have SAARC without Pakistan? I ask you, how can you have SAARC without cooperation? So please answer that, and then Maroof coming to you.
So how, I answer your question. Please listen to me now. The answer is very simple. That cooperation and interaction is only when the corridor is comfortable. Now in this case, we fought for 12 years. We lost 70,000 people. The 44 countries of the world.
Colonel Cheema, I'm sorry.
Listen to me, please. Please let me finish.
No.
Please listen to me.
I asked you a specific question about Pakistan's contribution to SAARC.
to fight
Please.
the terrorism.
I asked you about
Less
Pakistan's
India.
contribution
India
to
has
SAARC.
no
Maroof,
cooperation.
Maroof.
India did not.
Maroof, do they have an
Please
answer to
listen
that
me.
question? What
India
has been
did not
Pakistan's
fight
contribution to
a
SAARC?
single day against terrorism.
Tina, if
And you
the
want
Pakistani,
One second,
if your
let Maroof
Pakistani
speak now,
guests
please.
This
pipe
is
down,
one
then I
thing.
can make some point.
Colonel Farrukh Cheema. Colonel Farrukh Cheema, 1 second. Maroof is making a point to you.
Want this region
Colonel
to be
Saab.
peaceful.
Colonel Farrukh Cheema.
Pakistan gives
Colonel Farrukh Cheema,
20,000
Maroof Raza is making a point.
to people.
Hear him out.
Please.
Colonel Farrukh
India
Cheema, hear him
doesn't
out.
give a single one.
Colonel Farrukh Cheema, hear him out.
How do you say this?
Hear him out, sir. Please don't play the victim card once again. That's what all Pakistani guests do on Indian TV. Play victim. 1 second. Listen to Maroof Raza. Yeah. Yeah, Maroof.
Niranjan, may I?
Yes, Maroof, go ahead.
May I respond?
India needs
May I
more than
respond with
Pakistan.
respect to the
Let me
Pakistani
tell you.
guests?
Yeah, please make
to
your
the
point,
points
Maroof.
they've
More
raised.
useful to
Make your point,
India
Maroof.
than Pakistan.
Colonel Saab,
But
Colonel
still,
Saab, stop shouting. Colonel Saab, stop shouting and listen to somebody else, please. You know, just like in this debate, in the SAARC forum also, the only value you all bring is nuisance value. You are not making any contribution. You have run out of ideas. The same argument you have been giving for years, that you are a victim of terrorism. You are a victim of self-created
And you have been
terrorism.
doing the same
We are
for
citizens
years.
are victims of your sponsored
And you did the
terrorism.
same for
Now let
years.
me tell you about SAARC.
My
You
point
say
is,
Pakistan. Listen to me.
let's
Let me tell you about
let's
SAARC.
create
You
peace
say
in the region.
SAARC is not going to function without Pakistan. You are in a state of delusion.
Let's
Every
create peace
country in the region
want SAARC.
has backed
And
the Indian
cooperation.
initiative to
Let's create
isolate
peace
you.
in the region.
Every country in the region has India as its biggest trading partner. Every country in the region has decided to go ahead with bilateral, trilateral engagements without Pakistan. Pakistan says it has 200 million people. Every year you add 10 million to your population. I've done a study of your population. A charitable figure is 160 million if I was to give you a charitable figure. And don't overrate your importance in the region. The only country that thinks you are important is China, because you are another North Korea for China. You are irrelevant to the future of the region. And that is why India has decided to isolate you. And we will go further, not just as SAARC,
Maroof,
but every world forum to finally get. So get this out of your mind, that the world can't do without Pakistan. The region can do without Pakistan, and the world is ready to dump you unless you reinvent
Exactly.
the narrative.
Maroof, you're talking about the world being able to do without Pakistan, not just the region, and you talked about China being perhaps the only country that openly supports Pakistan. Or even, let's put this in perspective, even China has also recently spoken of stronger ties with India. 1 second, sir. Colonel Cheema, you have to allow others to speak also. We'll come back to you. So China has also spoken of stronger relations with India. And if we talk
Colonel
about
Farrukh Cheema, you have to let others speak, sir.
In fact,
you will find bigger.
When you talk about region, you talk about global isolation. 1 second, you speak about global isolation.
The Chinese are also for sub-regional cooperation. The Chinese, Tina,
Yeah, and
we want
Tina,
cooperation.
the Chinese are also for sub-regional cooperation. They've talked of cooperation with Bangladesh, India, Nepal, etc. So the Chinese also realize that the only value that Pakistan brings to China is the nuisance factor they create against India. And of course the China-Pakistan economic corridor.
Maroof, allow me.
That
You were making
purpose
the
is
point
served,
that
the Chinese will dump the Pakistanis.
Exactly. That's the point. And you look the world over, you see how the world is viewing Pakistan right now. And I'm going to come back to our Pakistani guests and also bring Casey Singh in on this. You see, 1 second, sir, listen to this. The President-elect of the United States, Donald Trump, what has he said about Pakistan? What has he said about Pakistan? I'm quoting some of his statements in the last 1 year of campaigning leading up to him being president-elect now. Trump has called Pakistan, and I quote directly verbatim, probably the most dangerous country in the world today, adding that the only country that can check Pakistan is India. Now you must be a worried lot. Hassan Khan and Barrister Zahid Saeed, you must be a worried lot, because the isolation at the SAARC level was evident to the entire world, but the world is also seeing Pakistan for what it is, and you are looking at the possibility of isolation on the world stage. Barrister Zahid Saeed.
आपका question आ ही नहीं रहा, इस पे नहीं आ रहा.
1 second. Okay, Hassan Khan, let me bring you in.
Clearly,
Okay, Barrister Zahid, I think you're having trouble. Okay, Colonel Farrukh, Cheema, you still haven't stopped. I'll have to bring your other panelists in. Hassan Khan, I'm hoping as a journalist you'll be able to provide some honest answers here on the debate. Okay, I want to ask you, and KC Singh will respond to that. KC Singh, my question to you, Hassan Khan, going by the SAARC Charter, right? I don't know whether you've gone through the SAARC Charter. I'll just go through the SAARC Charter for you and what it tells as far as regional cooperation is concerned, right? SAARC Charter reads, and I quote, desirous of promoting peace, stability, amity and progress in the region through strict adherence of the principles to the United Nations Charter. That's what the SAARC Charter says, right? That's the preamble. I want to ask you as a journalist, yes or no answer, Hassan Khan, and we'll take this debate forward. Should the SAARC, in your view, Hassan Khan as a journalist, should the SAARC be a community that tolerates terror keepers or owners of terror? Yes or no?
I think nobody, this is I will call it a
I said yes or no answer. Yes or no answer. Yes or no answer.
Supporting a country.
No, yes or no answer, right? Is it is it a fact or not?
There is no yes and
no, a follow-up question to you.
Yes
follow-up
no.
question.
To your action.
Hassan Khan, follow-up question.
Yes and
is it a fact or not? Is it a fact or not that Hafiz Saeed is a designated terrorist, but for your country he's a charity worker, none less than your ambassador? Your envoy to India says the fact that Hafiz Saeed is free and is speaking out is proof that we are a democracy in Pakistan.
I think this is, let me say it, this is very unfortunate that you have made the whole Indian population hostage to one or two character. If India is that weak, that either
Hassan,
Salahuddin or either Hafiz Saeed is terrorizing
Hassan Khan, there are two sorts of Hafiz Saeed. I'll tell you, Hassan, as a journalist, please be honest on the debate. I'm asking you, okay? There are two sorts of Hafiz Saeed. There is one Hafiz Saeed for the world. No, there is one Hafiz Saeed for the world. Okay, forget about India. Forget about India, Hassan Khan. Forget about India. How does the world see Hafiz Saeed today? The US has identified Jamaat-ud-Dawa as a Lashkar alias. 1 second. Because you said about India, how India views Hafiz Saeed. I'm asking you, how does the world view Hafiz Saeed? UNSC has listed Jamaat-ud-Dawa as the alias of Lashkar-e-Toiba. I think as a journalist, you know the fact. US in 2012 announced a 10 million bounty on Hafiz Saeed. Why will America do that? UN in 2008 listed him as an individual who's associated with Al-Qaeda. US Department of Treasury has designated Saeed as a specially designated national under Executive Order 13224. As a journalist, you also have these facts. So please don't come on the debate and say India is obsessed with one or two characters. Hassan Khan.
Why doesn't your government come and talk about these things on the table?
Sir, are you in denial?
Agreed on an agenda.
Barrister Saeed.
As my point will again be that we need not to make hostage the whole of population of South Asia to one or two characters, whether in India, whether in Pakistan. I think we should talk of regional. This is very good point. Hafiz
Sir, they're not characters, they're terrorists.
I may not like him. He may be a bad character.
Sir, not a character, he's a terrorist.
Involved as you saw, but
he's a terrorist, sir, not a character. He's a terrorist.
No. Look, I think calling somebody when as per I'm not privy to this the Pakistani judicial system. He was there, he was tried there so far. I think I can't say that somebody is terrorist because the Americans are calling
he warned India for nuclear attack.
That somebody is a terrorist.
Hassan Khan, I think you'll also know that he's a 2611 mastermind. Hassan Khan, you're calling him a character. Let me tell you what Hafiz Saeed is. He's a terrorist. 2611 mastermind. What did he say in June this year? He warned of a nuclear attack against India, Hassan Khan. And I just want to read this out. I don't know whether the Pakistani media has reported it, but I have it here. And we have most of the sound bites that come in from Pakistan. What did he say? If any drone attack takes place,
Saeed is not.
No, 1 second. One second.
I'm sorry,
he's a nuisance. He's not a character. He's a terrorist. And he's a nuisance to the subcontinent. If any drone attack takes place against Pakistan from Indian bases, we have enough drones for the whole of the world. Pakistan is duty bound, morally bound, politically bound and constitutionally bound to provide concrete, substantial support to the ongoing freedom struggle of Kashmir. If Pakistan provides this support, there is a great chance of a nuclear war between the two powers. There is basically no difference between Hafiz Saeed, who speaks about a nuclear war, and your defense minister. So don't call him a character, he's a terrorist.
I think we are here in the panel. I am looking that such great personalities are here. Instead
by a
of
court of law for terrorism, he is a terrorist.
I think
if
don't-
he is acquitted, he is not a terrorist.
Even
Gandhi was accused of being a terrorist.
Sir, please, for God's sake, don't.
it's very
You know,
unfortunate
Barrister
that
Zahid said, don't divert the debate. Don't divert the debate. KC Singh,
We all know
KC Singh, I want to bring you here. I want to bring you in here because there's a, a Pakistani panelists are in a state of denial. I want you to, as a former secretary of in the Ministry of External Affairs, KC Singh, throw some light on why it is possible to have a regional cooperation body in South Asia minus Pakistan. KC Singh.
That he is not involved.
I think let's.
Look, there is the example of the Commonwealth group of countries.
Let's
In the Commonwealth group of countries, they passed a resolution at the summit level.
Instead of having
A colonel or whoever it is, if I can just educate them a little.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, KC Singh. Go
In
ahead.
the Commonwealth group of countries, they passed a resolution saying if any government of a Commonwealth country is overthrown by a military junta, then that country's membership is suspended. I think in the SAARC, considering the support that India got over not visiting Islamabad this time for the summit, over Pakistan being a sponsor of terrorism, perhaps at the summit level, a resolution needs to be passed and adopted, saying any country, any member of the SAARC that supports terrorism and the other members of the SAARC agree, then the membership of that country should be suspended. So we should not talk of a SAARC without Pakistan. We can suspend Pakistan, keep them as a bad boy on the bench till they behave better. So in the meanwhile, the rest of the members can continue to function. In any case, India is the only country that connects all the others other than Afghanistan. Pakistan only touches Afghanistan. So they are not vital to the functioning of SAARC. India is vital to the functioning of SAARC. And so we have sub-regional groups like BIMSTEC, which is a bridge between India and the ASEAN. We can have another grouping within these countries, because as it is, India has a free trade agreement with some of the countries independent of SAARC. And SAFTA itself is not, so there are three issues which are blocking SAARC. One is connectivity, which Pakistan will not allow us connectivity to Afghanistan. So be it.
Yeah.
The second one is trade. Under SAFTA, they won't allow us WTO level playing field. And the third one is terrorism. Now the terrorism, Bangladesh also endorses it. Other countries also endorse it. So let's pass a resolution and suspend Pakistan.
Well, absolutely. Mr. KC Singh, I'm just going to go add a bit further to what you've just talked about. And because Hassan Khan was talking about, terrorism not being an issue, let me point out to you, it's not just India, it's all the countries of the SAARC nations who have said something to this effect. Bangladesh, for example. Is it not true? It was only 2 days after the Dhaka attack that Bangladesh Information Minister mentioned the threat posed by Pakistan-trained Bangladeshi youth, 8,000 of whom are known to have trained in Pakistan and returned to Bangladesh. This went on record. Afghanistan has exposed your terror affiliation of plotting several terror attacks and training and financing groups like the Haqqani Network and the Taliban against its people. Why should a state which supports terror be part of any regional organization? More, I think Maldives, of course, Niranjan had talked about earlier. Maldives also has talked about your terror links. Now, there are many issues here. Sushant, Sareen, KC Singh can, just give us more light and perspective on this. You were asking, I think it was Barrister Saeed who was asking, what do you mean by connectivity? Well, sir, I'm sorry, but connectivity is the main issue here. When you are talking about regional cooperation, connectivity is the main issue here, and Pakistan has been the biggest roadblock to connectivity. You're asking me what is connectivity?
Sorry to intervene.
There's roadblock to railways.
Has he heard of the GT road?
Okay, there's roadblock to roadways.
Has he heard of the GT road, which went up to Kabul from Calcutta?
But then saying it is Pakistan, no.
Did Pakistan support signing the motor vehicles agreement with India, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Nepal? You tell me, did Pakistan support or not the signing of the motor vehicles agreement with India, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Nepal? The whole purpose here of regional cooperation is that you allow connectivity. What about telecommunications? So, Sushant, Sareen, the point here being, they're asking what is connectivity? Well, connectivity is road links, rail links, telecommunication links, and has Pakistan in fact cooperated on any of these fronts?
No, see, Pakistan has obviously not cooperated, and the Pakistanis seem to believe that, you know, there is some major benefit that will come to India's side if they open up connectivity to Afghanistan, little realizing that it is to the benefit of Afghanistan. But see, my point is a larger one. My point is that what does Pakistan bring to the table anyways? Look at it from India's point of view. India's total foreign trade is roughly $700 billion. You add invisibles and you add trade and services and other stuff, it probably is closer to $1 trillion. Pakistan's trade with India is $2.5 billion. It just doesn't stack up. Our trade with Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, even Nepal and other countries is much higher. So what does Pakistan bring? So if Pakistan says that it's an independent country, great. Take your independence and stuff it up. It doesn't matter to us. You keep your independence, and if your independence means spreading terrorism in all the other countries in the region, then nobody wants to have any part of you anyways. You know, you are becoming a pariah. Now, Mr. Hassan Khan was absolutely right that the relations in South Asia, 1.5, 1.6 billion people, should not be held hostage to one man. But then the next question comes, what prevents a country of 200 million people from taking out that one man who's holding them hostage from connecting with the rest of the 1.4 billion people in this region? And out there, that is where, you know, they start dissemble. The dissemble starts on the Pakistani side. So either the Pakistanis want cooperation, either they want connectivity, either they want all those old relations to be restored so that everybody prospers together, or they can stand alone. And frankly speaking, it means nothing to nobody if they are not part of SAARC. I would think that probably SAARC has a greater future if Pakistan is not part of it, and SAARC with Pakistan in it has absolutely no future.
Yeah, Maroof, you come in, and I just want to make one point to Barrister Zahid Saeed. Maroof, you respond to Barrister Zahid.
Yeah.
You can, okay, I'll just put a question, Maroof. Look, I just want to remind our Pakistani viewers, and Maroof, you can take this forward. Barrister Saeed, you need to listen, please. You need to listen to the question. No, without a question. Sir, without a question. Okay, talking about terrorists, fine. You want to talk about terrorists? Let's talk about terrorists.
Who attacked?
Sir, please listen to my question. Barrister Saeed, I'm not sure you're getting my audio. Can you hear my audio, sir?
Niranjan.
You seem to have some problems getting the audio from our studios, but I will ask my question anyway. Barrister Saeed. SAARC, talking about the SAARC charter, right?
You have created...
Talking about the SAARC charter, you spoke about why there cannot be a SAARC without Pakistan. Maroof, what does the SAARC charter say? Desirous of promoting peace, stability, amity and progress in the region. Thank you for talking about terrorism, Barrister Saeed, because Pakistan is a country that won't recognize Jamaat-ud-Dawa as a terror group, rolls out red carpet to Hafiz Saeed, opens up its street to protests from terrorists like Hafiz Saeed and Salahuddin. Let's not forget the sort of welcome you gave to Rajnath Singh, a Home Minister. Maroof Raza, I don't think he's going to stop. So Maroof, you want to take it forward? Maroof, you want to take that? I don't think he's going to stop.
I think Mr. K.C. Singh and Sushant Sareen have both made... Niranjan, Mr. Sushant Sareen and K.C.
10 times more than you are from us.
Sir, Barrister
Sir, it's not time for braggadocio. Please hear Maroof out.
We know you don't want to trade with us. There is evidence to show you don't want to trade with us. And it is politically incorrect in Pakistan to trade with India. So unless you sort out your mindset in Pakistan, we cannot have good bilateral relations. Hafiz Saeed or no Hafiz Saeed. Now I want to bring out 2-3 other points. And Ambassador, I know you are being prompted by somebody to make noises while we all speak. But please give us the courtesy of 1 minute. What I am trying to say, I am trying to be. Sir, will you please let me complete my point?
It has got to be.
Farrukh Cheema, please let Maroof make his point. Let Maroof make his point, Colonel Farrukh Cheema. Let Maroof make his point. You can respond to him. Yes, Maroof, continue. Make your point.
See, Niranjan, the point to understand is, it's something that I've always harped on, that India is the only country in South Asia that has links physically with all other countries, with the exception of Afghanistan, where we are the largest investor outside of NATO and Western countries. But let's look at India-Pakistan relations. Now, Pakistan's trade with India is so minuscule that neither does Pakistan benefit nor do we benefit. And
Maroof, it's 2%.
What has happened is in Delhi there is a realization in the government that with Pakistan now becoming completely a lackey of the Chinese with the China-Pakistan economic corridor. There is no further hope to the Indian narrative of having Pakistan part of a larger regional cooperation matrix. So we have reconciled that whatever we try and do with Pakistan, it will continue to get the support it is getting from China. And we need to move ahead in our relationships with the other countries in the region. As I brought out earlier, we have the largest trading links with Sri Lanka. We have the largest trading links with Nepal. We have the largest trading links with Bhutan. We are the second largest importer for Bangladesh. So therefore, we don't need Pakistan. And Pakistan can live without us if they want to.
Colonel Cheema,
but SAARC can get on with life without Pakistan.
Maroof, I'm taking that forward to Colonel Cheema because he responded to what you were saying. 1 second, Colonel Cheema, listen to the question first. So he was saying that, you can just try. You can try doing something without Pakistan. Let's see how it works. Well, Colonel Cheema, the fact is, it's very clear that BIMSTEC, for example, succeeded. Listen to the question. BIMSTEC succeeded. The fact is that the SAARC summit that was supposed to be held, we all know, did not take place in Islamabad. Fact of the matter is, in the aftermath of the Uri attacks, 5 SAARC nations pulled out of the SAARC summit scheduled on your soil, making your failure to secure the confidence of other nations very, very evident. But a platform like BIMSTEC worked. It was attended by BRICS nations. The summit was held in Goa in October this year, and it proved to be a success, with Prime Minister Modi targeting Pakistan very sharply on state-sponsored terrorism. And therefore, today we heard Mr. Jaishankar talk about the fact that there is a real possibility of moving forward in a direction like BIMSTEC without Pakistan, or perhaps even without SAARC. And I'm going to come back in a minute to KC Singh and Maroof on that. But first, your response to that. It's very clear, and we have seen in the last few months that India has made a success of an event like BIMSTEC, but SAARC on your soil failed to even happen.
India has done everything which can be done to spoil this SAARC, this organization, or any organization which could bring cooperation.
There was the other countries who pulled out SAARC.
So don't be in denial.
Go ahead with America and on the eastern coast.
Sir, please don't be in denial.
Of the Indian Ocean.
So I don't think you know. Mr. Colonel Farrukh Cheema. Colonel Farrukh Cheema, can I ask you a question? Do you know how much the region accounts for in terms of world trade? Do you know how much the region accounts for in terms of world trade? Because you started off by saying India does everything to spoil SAARC, right? I want to put some facts on the table, Colonel Farrukh Cheema, because it's easy for you to come here and peddle lies.
That we must have must have cooperation and must work together, but not the way you are doing with us.
Sir,
but not the way
let me tell you. Yeah, very nice for you to come on television. Colonel Farrukh Cheema, very easy for you to come and say we want cooperation, we want to work together, we want to work for the unity of SAARC. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what your country has done. Right, let me tell you.
You are actually trying.
You will remember, Colonel Farrukh Cheema, you will remember that the South Asian Free Trade Agreement, in 2004, SAARC Agreement on Trade in Services in 2010.
To stick to the eastern.
Sir, hear me out. Because, see, you spoke about cooperation. I asked you a question and you start speaking over me. Despite South Asian Free Trade Agreement in 2004, despite SAARC Agreement on Trade in Services in 2010, it's shameful that this region accounts for merely 2% of world trade. And I'll tell you why. Rather than strengthening relations and improving trade, let me tell you what Pakistan did. Is it true or not, Colonel Cheema, that Pakistan blocked the way for the SAARC Regional Railways Agreement, SAARC Regional Railways Agreement to be signed in Kathmandu Summit for 2014? Do you know the facts? Do you know who blocked it?
Why?
Pakistan blocked it.
Why?
What do you mean? Why? Ask your government that.
Do you know the reason?
Ask your government that.
Also, please. Tell me the reason also.
I'm asking you. If you know the answer, why don't you tell us? Why don't you tell us if you know the answer?
There was the entire region is as threatened by terrorism. We have given 70,000.
Your entire country is threatened by terrorism.
You have not given even one. What to talk of this? That you create problem for us and then you say that we are stopping it. Please, this is an intellectual forum, I suppose. And I appeal
So
to
please
the
don't-
sagacity.
So don't
of
peddle
the
that sham
Indians
of saying
who are
that
there,
entire
that they
region
should
is
think
threatened
over
by
it.
terrorism. Your entire country is
Please,
threatened by
two
terrorism,
things you
sir.
have to stop.
Colonel Farrukh Cheema, your entire country is
I
threatened
said
by
just
terrorism. It's
Hafiz
not just one
Saeed
region, so
is
please
the
don't.
one who
Yeah.
is holding everything of India.
I'll tell you what you've done.
Who's
you had a chance.
stimulating India?
No, you had a chance.
Who's doing everything for India?
One second. You had a chance.
Oh, it's too
Let's
much.
talk about
It's too much
telecommunications, right? Let's talk about telecommunications. Just one example to you. Hassan Khan, listen to the question. Hassan Khan, as a journalist, you'll know this. Hassan Khan, let me put this question to you actually. Pakistan earlier this year, you had a chance to piggyback on India's success as far as space science is concerned. What did you do? Earlier this year, Pakistan opted out of the ambitious SAARC satellite project initiated by India with an aim to benefit all member countries like yours in fields like telecommunications and telemedicine. You could have successfully strengthened SAARC ties, but instead, Hassan Khan, Pakistan pulled out. Can you hear me, Hassan Khan?
Absolutely.
No, I don't think he got my question there.
There is.
Colonel Farrukh Cheema, you want to take that question? I think your colleagues in Islamabad didn't hear that.
Yeah. The point is very simple.
Yeah, you didn't want
It
development.
comes to the boils down to the same. For the last 15 years, 14 years, 12 years, you have created situation for us that we cannot proceed the way it is envisaged. And we are the people who want it. I tell you just one thing, that if India wants to create a good atmosphere in the region, it will prevail. If they want to go away, then I'm telling you, you are going to face a problem. Because on the eastern coast of India,
But why?
then you find
Why?
other powers.
What
other
problem?
So what are you talking about?
What problem are you
economic
alluding
giants.
to? What problem?
It
What
would be
problem?
better
Why don't you make
that you
clear?
cooperate with us.
What problem? It would. One second, you said that you will face
What
problems.
problem?
Can you please
So where do you get your-
what problems?
First of all, you will not be. You lose as first of all, you have already lost the entire Central Asia and all that. On the other side, you
So
find
what are you talking
Hong
about?
Kong is there. You
So
find
what is wrong?
Other
Even
bases are
no.
there. China from that side.
I'm sorry,
and
but
you
I
will
think
find
what
the
we
other
have-
nations working there.
What we have
Economically, you are
I've
going to
already
face
spoken
problem
about
there.
China earlier on the show, and I've already spoken about how, irrespective of whatever China's relationship with Pakistan is, China only wants to foster better relations with India. That's already been established. KC Singh, I'm going to ask you to start summing up
it
here,
can
because
be.
the question
If
is
India
not
starts,
just
if
of
India, I
do
say,
we need
you
Pakistan in
as a-
SAARC? The
you
question
as a
perhaps
writer,
even has
you
to
as
be
a
asked,
journalist,
do we need
please tell your
SAARC?
people.
What has SAARC
Hold
achieved
your-
in all
hold
these
your
years of its
hawks.
existence? And is
Hold
the
your
way
hawks,
forward,
India
as
is a
Mr.
problem.
Jaishankar hinted
And
today,
Pakistan,
perhaps
it
India
will be
moving more towards a
useful
body
to you.
like BIMSTEC,
Let me tell
which
you.
works for us and works for regional cooperation as well. Mr. KC Singh.
Not just BIMSTEC, we have a separate engagement
want
with
to work
ASEAN.
together.
Then China is looking at another
Yeah.
grouping called
like that.
RCEP. They want the 10 ASEAN countries plus India, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Korea and China. So they will join this. That's what China wants for the whole of the Asia Pacific. Main engines of growth are all to India's east. The engines of economic growth are not to India's west. India's west is the Islamic world, which is troubled. Only relevance that Pakistan used to have is access to Central Asia, because everyone thought there'll be a lot of oil and gas there. But the world has changed. Oil and gas, today we are moving to a post-oil, post-gas world. Renewable energy is coming in. India has access to nuclear now. And we have separate access to GCC and the Gulf countries. This time the Crown Prince of
Why are you so bitter about
Abu
it
Dhabi
then?
is coming as a chief guest
If it is that
at the
way, then
Republic
why
Day
are you so bitter
function.
about it?
So Pakistan
Yeah.
is not required at
Why
all
are you bitter
for
about
India's
this?
economic development.
Exactly.
Pakistan
So-
is a very, very small component. It is not critical to, and I think Pakistan is deluded if they think that they
You
can
are
be
mistaken.
in any
You are
way,
mistaken, yeah. Let
they
me
can
tell you
restrict
one thing.
Indian economic growth.
We
They can
have
gain
to
from
insist
India's
on
economic
that.
growth. Because we are the drivers of growth in the region.
Yeah.
And anywhere, wherever there's a
Yeah.
major country,
Please
when
tell
China
me,
grew,
when you tell
other
me
countries of the
economic
ASEAN
growth,
grew with
please
them.
tell me.
Yeah,
When
and-
Japan
and
grew,
what
other
you're
countries
saying,
grew
Mr.
with
Singh,
them.
What you're
Of
saying, Mr.
poverty
KC
stricken
Singh,
people,
is that
they can't
at no
stop
level
poverty.
does India
Yet which
need
country has
Pakistan,
got?
and certainly not when you're talking
words
from
are
a
not
trade
about
or
it.
economic
It'll
point
be
of view.
useful for them.
And therefore, if the purpose of SAARC is essentially regional trade and cooperation, then what purpose is Pakistan really serving on that body? Is it time time to rethink SAARC? Is it time to think about SAARC without Pakistan? That's what Mr. Jaishankar hinted at today. Thank you all very much for joining us here on debate number 2. We are completely out of time, but we appreciate all of you being with us.